The very first thing I did going into fall was to create a backup save, so I wouldn't have to go back too far if anything went wrong. For this category, spring and summer are relatively flexible, but fall is the first time that the path narrows, and there's several things on a road that you have to do in a certain order, and there's very little wiggle room for error. And even if you do everything right, if you happen to get rain on the wrong day, you have to start over and do the whole sequence all over again. But when you hear that fall music, you have to make a conscious effort to break out of that rut, because one little mistake at this point can cost you the whole run.
But I mean, that's what happened when I lost it a couple days ago. I started glossing over, not paying attention. That's how you crash and burn. Because this game, you have to pay attention to the very end.
For instance, if you need an egg to restore the vineyard, it's very easy to give that egg to Ellie since you've been doing that same thing for the last 3 hours. And your brain does it without even being told to do it. But if you do that, and you don't have any corn or a spare egg, you can't restore the vineyard, which is a requirement for Karen's photo. That's not to say I didn't make any mistakes those first few days. I just happened to catch the most important ones.
Alright, so today is one of those special days, fall the 5th. Tomorrow we will be getting a photo, or not getting a photo. Tomorrow, the weather for the day after tomorrow has to be good, or we will miss the photo.
So the way wishing for weather works is since tomorrow's weather is already fixed, it ensures the day after tomorrow has normal weather. Literally not helpful in any way in a casual run, and is really only helpful for this kind of stuff.
The truth is, we didn't really know what wishing for weather did. We weren't even sure what good weather meant. Is it good when it rains because your crops get watered? Or is sunny better because you can do the photo event? Is the game even smart enough to check for that? Kirby Arm's guide said that wishing for weather prevented typhoons, but it was still one of those game FAQ rumors that none of us knew enough about coding to actually test. Now, I cover everything we do know about it in my All Photos tutorial, but in 2018, we weren't really sure what it did.
I wonder what the actual odds are for wishing for weather and still getting bad weather.
Well, I mean, you can vote on the goddess and still get some random person's goddess.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I've never read anywhere that's checked into that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely certain.
Wishing for weather was more of a ritual to make you feel better, and we were doing everything we could to keep this run marathon safe. We had Maria's photo, and now we had Karen's photo. Next up was Ellie's photo, which you can only get on fall 9th, and you can only get it if it's not raining.
Oh my goodness.
What's wrong?
I wish for weather, and I got rainy day anyway.
To say this isn't a run killer is a bit misleading, because saving locks in the weather, and if you lock in a rainy fall 9th, you can no longer get Ellie's photo.
Sometimes I hate this game.
It's more accurate to say that this has killed so many of our runs that we almost expect rain on fall 9th, and it's a pleasant surprise when it doesn't.
And just like that, the run can be over, but fortunately Odd Tom did not save. If he would have saved, it would have been,
that would have been
a very bad thing.
It's actually part of running this game. It's unavoidable. It's not even, I don't even consider it losing time because everyone has to kind of put up with it.
You factor it in.
Yeah.
We were basically repeating everything we just did the last couple days, and it gave us a chance to talk about some other stuff going on in the community.
We have a magic making tool assisted for this game. There's just so much to take into consideration. Like, it's tough to do as a human being, and you can't, like, task a game until you understand it fully as a human being.
When someone in chat brought up emulators, it was as good a time as any to talk about it.
Would it?
It's a good time to bring up emulators and this game.
The emulator ruling was still a hot topic, but if there was anyone out there thinking about running this game, they deserve to know about it before they sink a whole bunch of time or money into it.
Oh, sure. One thing we found out about this game is that no matter what settings we use, emulator just loads each screen faster.
Like, to the point that it made a difference in the leaderboards.
Correct.
Where if you, like, played it perfectly, the emulator would get a better time. And that's what created the problem.
A lot of strong feelings were starting to float up to the surface, and it kind of surprised me because I thought I moved on from this a long time ago. But there was some part of me that was still very much angry at something, and I didn't really understand why.
Even mine were exclusively emulator runs because that's what I had access to. And then suddenly all of those become, well, null and void.
Demo cut me off before I could go too far off the rails of the depression train.
If you go to the All Photo Speedruns leaderboard, you can show emulated speedruns and you'll see Tom's runs.
And it gave me enough time to step back, take a deep breath, and before I relapsed, I latched onto literally anything else to change the subject.
Oh, it's going to be the cliff scene, isn't it? No, it's the dream event. This is a good thing.
But it turned out we didn't have to come up with something, because while we were waiting for Ellie's photo, something happened that none of us had ever seen before.
Whoa, okay. I just warped for a reason that I'm not aware of. I don't know what to say about that.
Well, I mean, it saved you time walking to Ellie.
It did. I just have no idea why that happened.
Why did that happen?
We'd have to look at it later, because right now we hadn't all photos to finish, and we could not afford to get distracted.
Now we are up to, what is the count? 6 photos. Gramps photo, Maria, Karen, Ellie swimming. So we're at 5.
Well, we're almost halfway.
It was rounding midnight real time, and we were both starting to feel it. And to top it all off, coming up next was the Harvest Festival, the great equalizer, where PB runs come to die. You have to pull a coin out of the cake to get the balloon photo, and there's nothing you could do to pad the odds. You have a 1 in 10 chance, and if you don't get it, all you can do is reset and hope you get it next time.
Okay, so I don't know if you're ready for this, but I am about to win the festival the first time. Right here is when I'm going to win it. Right here. Very first time. I'm going to get the coin in the cake very first time.
So sometimes you get it on your first attempt, and sometimes you get it on your 15th attempt.
Cypher holds the record. 11, I think.
Ooh, 11 is pretty bad.
11 is abysmal.
Are we keeping count, guys? That's 1.
Are we going to rub it in my face? Is that what we're going to do?
No, I just want to keep count. You could have 2 new records tonight.
Scary part was, I knew he was right, and that was not a record I wanted to break tonight.